Your loneliness is not a coincidence. Welcome to Stoic philosophy for life, where silence builds strength, discipline shapes destiny, and wisdom leads the way. There is a silence that does not shout, yet it echoes through every fiber of our being. It enters our lives uninvited. It wraps around our days like a fog, and we call it loneliness. But what if loneliness is not a punishment? What if loneliness is preparation? The world praises noise. It rewards those who chase attention, applause, constant validation. But Stoic philosophy teaches us that those destined for depth must first be stripped of distraction. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." He did not write this as an emperor, but as a man, a soul who understood what it meant to stand alone in a world drunk on conformity. If you find yourself isolated, it is not a coincidence. It is a calling. Loneliness is not punishment. It is preparation. You have been pulled away from the crowd, not to suffer, but to see the parts of yourself you have long ignored, to see how shallow the surface becomes when there is no depth within, to see how little the world truly offers when you no longer crave its noise. This seeing is painful, and it is powerful, because loneliness, at its core, is a forge. No man ever became strong in the comfort of applause. No man ever built true virtue surrounded by constant flattery. Strength is born in shadows. It is crafted in the unseen hours. It is built when no hand reaches out to help you, when the only voice left is your own. And that voice, the one often drowned out by the chaos of life, finally has a chance to speak. Solitude is the training ground for the soul. Seneca taught, "It is in times of security that the soul should prepare itself for difficulty." But how can a soul prepare if it never knows silence? If it never isolates itself long enough to meet the enemy within, the distractions, the weaknesses, the delusions? True preparation demands isolation. It demands reflection. It demands confrontation with the self that we usually hide from. So, if you find yourself left behind, shut out, alone, remember, you are not being abandoned. You are being refined. This solitude is not exile, it is elevation. You are not meant to be constantly seen. You are meant to be carved by silence, tempered by stillness, built by battles that no one claps for. And there will come a time when the world calls for you again. But you will no longer crave its noise. You will no longer need its approval. You will carry something far greater: fortitude. Isolation is the sharpener of perception. Isolation sharpens the senses. When the noise of the world fades, so do the illusions. You begin to see things, people, desires, even your own thoughts, for what they truly are. What once seemed urgent loses its hold. What once demanded your attention now fades into insignificance. What remains is clarity, distilled by distance. Refined by silence, Epictetus taught, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." In isolation, those opinions are stripped bare, and what emerges is a mind less reactive, more aware. You begin to see not only the world with fresh eyes, but yourself. Not the self society demands, not the mask you wear for others, the real you. Loneliness reveals the warrior within. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look." The strength he spoke of is not granted by crowds. It is not given by praise. It is not born in the presence of others. It is forged in the quiet. When no one is watching and yet you choose discipline. When no one is listening and yet you choose truth. This is how you become untouchable, not by building walls around you, but by building something greater within you. Loneliness removes the illusions. It reveals what you truly are. Without the audience, without the applause, without the mask. And in that raw confrontation, in that sacred stillness, true transformation begins. Solitude is the source of wisdom. Seneca wisely wrote, No man was ever wise by chance. Wisdom demands clarity, and clarity often demands distance. Distance from society, distance from noise, distance even from comfort. Isolation strips away the false layers we wear in public. It reveals our weaknesses, yes, but also our staggering potential to transcend them. It is in solitude that we stop pretending and start transforming. Before you go, remember this. The path we walk is not meant to be crowded. It is narrow. It is silent. It is sacred. Strength is forged in silence. Clarity is born in solitude. And respect, real, lasting respect, only comes when you no longer need the world's approval. The Stoic way forward: you were not placed in solitude to be broken. You were placed there to be rebuilt. You were not abandoned. You were chosen to endure, to rise, to become. The loneliness you feel is not a void. It is a workshop. It is a forge. It is a place where something greater is being crafted within you. If this message stirred something deep inside you, if you recognize that loneliness is not your enemy but your ally, then stay with us. This is Stoic philosophy for life, where the noise ends and true strength begins. This isn't motivation, this is Stoic medicine for the soul. And you, silent warrior, are exactly where you need to be. The journey continues.